Firstly, I just thought, could you just kind of describe how the BPO operation operates normally outside of this current situation?
Yeah. So when we are in the office, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in regard to the BPO, we are dividing into contracts. So each team is looking after one client of Sidetrade. And the goal of each contract depends, but obviously it's all about financials indicators. So we normally operate on a PC with obviously our software, Sidetrade, but some tools as well as the clients. We have a hard phone, and we are in contact with the clients by phone, email, and basically we have to manage our portfolio and make sure the client is paying on time, and we reduce any overdue or and improve their DSOs or excess days, or make the most cash as possible, depending again on the targets and for Sidetrade expect us from.
Sure. And you're using Sidetrade, and are you using Aimie as well, the AI?
Yes, we do. In some of our contract, we have Aimie in place and coming to help and support our collections activities. It's actually doing great results, and we can see that with fewer actions, even more efficient than a normal workflow, a classic workflow. So we are looking at increasing the usage on others' contract, obviously. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And then, so obviously a few weeks ago now, the coronavirus kind of crisis came into play, and there was a lockdown in Dublin, in Ireland, where you're located. So can you just talk through how that affected you and how you went about supporting the team?
Yeah. Obviously, that was a very big change for everybody. Our cash collectors are not used to work remotely. They are basically on their desk, which is a fixed desk. So when it happened, or when we heard about it, we had to go back to our business continuity plan that was put in place last year, just in case, So my predecessor thought about that, so that was great. So we went through the file, updated according to the situation, and we have been in communication regularly with our IT security department, and see how it goes. So it was a daily calls to see how it evolved. So it evolved very quickly. Myself, I communicate to my team as well of what can happen and if it happened. I'm not trying to panic everybody, obviously. And then when the goal was from the HR was sent to send everybody home and working from home, we gradually equipped each our cash collectors with a laptop, and we are using actually a phone system, which is not a soft phone, but it managed the calls. So we were able to redirect any calls to their mobiles. So that was one plus that we already have in place. We just have to redirect the calls. That's something that we can administrate on site. So yeah, internally we have a system with one of our partners. So it provides us a platform when we can look at the calls coming and going, and if our teams as well is connected. And for the teams, they just need a phone. So what we did is we reconnect the lines to their mobiles with no cost added to it. So we actually they are able now and from the beginning to have calls, make calls. So the only difference would I say is they're at home, but they still manage to do what they're supposed to do, which is which is great, and help them as well in adjusting to this situation, personally and professionally.
Sure. And how has the system helped them? I mean, obviously, everything's managed online. You can manage their workload presumably remotely, just as you can in the office.
Yes. We had in the BPO, obviously we have most of our team in Dublin, but we have a part as well in Boulogne. So the remote management always been present in our department. So everybody has to do it now. That's the difference. So yeah, we are able with the SVI tool to see if they're connected, if they're on break, if they have any issues, because they can put themselves in what we call back office for a long time. So maybe they have a difficult case. So that's how we monitor our team remotely. Obviously, there's the regular contacts that we have to maintain as well. It's not like we just turn and talk. We just have to, maybe a quick call over Teams. So that's the other tool that we are using a lot right now. It can be a quick message. So we created groups per Teams, and every morning when you actually switch on your PC, you have a good morning from everybody from different format as well. Some people will write, some people will send pictures. So it is actually, I'm not going to say great, because the situation is not really great, but we have tools that we are able to manage the team and interact with them so that they feel engaged, they're not feeling alone. And then obviously we increase the recurrence of meetings, the recurrence of one-to-one for people who just started, because we have, for example, one person who just started and the next day he had to work from home. So we kind of adjust as well individually as per their needs, and it works good. Everybody, do their bit, and again, we are on the same situation, so everybody understands each other, and it's better to communicate. But communicate is the key. So I'm trying as well as the director to do a weekly meeting with everybody, just to see how they are, and then give them some updates that I might have as well internally. Yeah, we might turn it into snack time, virtual snack time, to make it more enjoyable rather than a normal meeting. So yeah, it's working well, and the team feels not in the office, but nearly, let's say.
Sure. Oh, that's great. That's great. And in terms of Sidetrade, presumably you're already using things like digital collection, where the digital letters, which means that everything's online in terms of your communication with the customers. So has anything changed in the way you're having to communicate with people?
Well, obviously, with our client, we have regular calls to monitor the situation, any changes, any evolutions. Some markets are more impacted than others. So what we advise and recommend to our client is to obviously go as digital as possible. We see that people are not really available on the phone anymore. Some will not have the IT structure to have the call transfer like us, or they just manage by email. So we are very much into digital communications. The digital letter is obviously a great way for us to be more efficient and provide autonomy to the clients as well, because they are able to look at their accounts, they have access to their invoices themselves, and they can even give us what is the status, so if they're going to pay, or if they're not happy with the service, or something. And the information is brought back straight away to our tool. So we are not retreating any emails to comment on our tools. It's a direct report, I would say, a direct communication, but nobody has to trigger anything. So the system is triggering the digital letters, the customer is getting the email, just log in their personal space, and then he has access to everything. So it's a great time right now to use it and to be more efficient in communications rather than emails. We all know that we have loads of emails and to go through, but we are trying to keep the contact over the phone as much as we can as well, because it's I'd say the best mean of collections. But with the situation, we accept, I would say, that digital is the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. And thinking about our clients, then, what's happening there? What sort of things are you seeing in terms of the crisis affecting them, without mentioning any names, of course?
Of course. As I said, we have different industries, and some of them would decided to completely stop the collection activities because their end customer would not have any turnovers and will not have any cash to spend because they won't have any activities. So what if that happened, then we look at using, it's not really proper what I'm saying, but taking the resources and bring it to some other contract or tasks so that they are keep busy, but also helping us in supporting this situation. Some other will kind of say, okay, it's going down, but we still gonna try. We know the difficulties, we know that we will be impacted financially, but I don't think we should stop. Minimize the impact. So we go and then we try. Some others won't change anything, basically. That's more the industry that we need right now. So the food industry, the energy industry, they kind of mentioned that they need us and we need them. So we're going to provide the service as usual, or we try, so they have to pay as usual. So it is a different balance into our clients. So that's why it was important, and it is important that we follow up with them how it's evolving. And then what we do is, well, if collection is not needed or not, they don't want to push too much into the collection, then we suggest that because we are partner to help them in others administrative tool or task that they might not have the resource for it, and we're trying to to support them in this crisis as much as they need.
And what are you finding from the end users, the people you're chasing for payment? Is that are you getting different feedback today than you would have done in the past? I mean, I guess people are struggling maybe to pay if they're in particular industries.
Yeah, it will be a tough time, I think, for everybody, individuals as much as companies. And obviously, as you said, it's different feedbacks. Some will be very much into partnerships, big companies, big cash, so they can support the business and the suppliers. Some will struggle a bit more. I'm looking at the restaurant or any other small medium companies. So that's the first thing that we are trying to do as well when we are in contact with them. Is not like when you're going to pay, is okay, how it goes with you, how your structure is in place. Are you able to still confirm any payments even you're working remotely? Is your bank following you? This kind of thing. So we do look at what is the situation in the end customers to adapt our activities, our speech, and to see if everything is running well. Then straight away we just ask, okay, so what about these inputs? If they are like, oh, we are in bit of trouble, we don't have the infrastructure to make payment yet, then we say, okay, when you're going to do that, and you think it's going to happen? We're trying to get as much as information so that we know what to expect. And the other thing is, because we are the first contact with the end customers for our client in Sidetrade, We nearly, on all our BPO clients, we nearly in our tools we can manage status. So we can tag an account that has difficulty to pay because of the situation. So we create one especially for that period, and then the client of Sidetrade will be able to see who that client is, and for which amount, for how many invoices, and so on. So we are looking as well at trying to have much as accurate report, so that we are able to see what impact we have and how many customers are impacted by so. So yeah, again, it's different for everybody. And again, it depends on the industry, the market, the size of their companies, and the IT infrastructure they were able to put in place.
Sure. That's really interesting. Thank you. I guess sort of finally, you having gone through this process yourself, and you mentioned that obviously as an IT company, we are quite well equipped and set up for remote working anyway. But what sort of advice would you give to collections teams who are, have suddenly found themselves in this situation and probably were never really prepared for remote working?
Well, hopefully it will not happen again, but if it does happen again,
Yeah.
One thing that is very important is, because we are moved to the digital communication, the key in collection is to get the email address of the client. And that will help if obviously the company has the IT infrastructure like us, to make mass communications, to reach the customers in volumes, to advise about about things. So the email contact is key in collection, even though I'm contradicting myself, because I mentioned the phone is the best meme, but in that situation, email is the key. It's not it's more efficient as well, because in terms of reaching people in volume. Now, if it's one-to-one, obviously phones remain the same. I'm keeping that in mind. And then, as you said, we were very lucky to have laptops for everybody. It's kind of a budget for us, but we were lucky to have enough, and I think it's key as well. We were thinking of moving people to their private and personal laptops, but we know that security is a big thing as well right now, and we need to be aware that even in crisis, we stay focused on that topic. So personal laptop obviously can be an emergency cases, but in medium term, like we are, it's preferable to have backlogs in IT. So that's quite a budget. And the other thing is, if you are working from home, you need to be able to monitor your team. So you need to have a system in place like we have, where we can see who is in, who is out. And then, we are able even to listen to their calls. If they are in difficulties, they can just ping us, and then we can listen what they are struggling with, so we can still be there and assist them, so they won't feel alone at home. And that will sum up by with the last bit that is crucial, is communications. Sometimes we say too much communication kill the communications. On that period, I would rather give all information I have to reassure my people that they have all the information they need, and to be aware of everything, because the evolution is changing day to day, and they need to adapt and adjust. They need to be prepared for it, and you should not throw everything on them like a bomb. They need to see what it's coming. So try to anticipate anything that your client can expect from you, and then even be proactive and put things in place, or go to your clients and do so. So yeah, in terms of remote working from home in collection, for me is tools, is communications, and the remote management.
Fantastic. Yes. Well, it's certainly difficult times, and I guess most people running collections teams never imagined they would have to have them
No.
remotely. So yeah, I guess we're all learning as we go along. But look, that's been really interesting. I appreciate your time and your advice and input, and thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you, David, and stay safe.